In the South China Sea, the Philippines has accused the Chinese Coast Guard of damaging one of its boats in disputed waters.
In the depths of the South China Sea, a new chapter in Southeast Asia's complex geopolitical environment is emerging. The Philippines, ruled by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., is taking a firm stand against China's growing territorial claims in the region. This decision represents an important change in Philippine foreign policy, laying the groundwork for a future meeting in one of the world's polarizing maritime regions. Ferdinand Marcos Jr., the president of the Philippines, said in a televised speech to the country that his government would use legal means to oppose China's rights in the South China Sea. This decision, he said, was motivated by a desire to defend international law and protect the Philippines' sovereign rights.
The threat has grown, and since the threat has grown, we must do more to defend our territory. And so maybe perhaps that's what people are seeing.
Legal challenge. The Philippines' decision to challenge China's claims in the South China Sea through legal methods is bold and strategic. By joining a formal protest with the United Nations, the Philippines is utilizing its rights under international law, especially the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea UNCLOS. The Philippines claims that China's vast claims, which include practically the entire South China Sea, violate UNCLOS and enter the Philippines' exclusive economic zone EEZ. China's claims to the South China Sea have long been a source of conflict in the region. The country has built artificial islands, military facilities, and airstrips in disputed waters to show its power over the region. The Philippines' legal action marks an important turning point in the conflict and may have far-reaching consequences for regional stability. By taking this brave measure, the Philippines not only defends its rights but also sends a strong statement to China and the world community that it is dedicated to maintaining the rule of law in the South China Sea. Regional implications. The Philippines' aggressive stance against China has had effects throughout the region, particularly among countries with opposing interests in the South China Sea. Nations such as Vietnam, Malaysia, Brunei, and Indonesia, which face similar problems as a result of China's territorial ambitions, are closely studying the Philippines' legal action. The outcome of this case may set a precedent for how these countries handle China's maritime aggressiveness in the future. In the Philippines, the government's action caused considerable support and anger. Many locals see China's claims as a direct danger to their country's sovereignty, and they are supporting President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s efforts to protect the Philippines' interests in the region. The public support reflects a strong feeling of national pride and an ethic to maintain the country's territorial integrity. The Philippines' activities have also received worldwide attention, with a number of countries and organizations expressing support for the country's right to pursue legal options to resolve the dispute. The United States, in particular, has expressed support for the Philippines' attempts to enforce international law while also maintaining regional peace and stability. Ultimately, the Philippines' strong stance against China has generated support within the country, while also drawing attention to the wider effects of China's actions in the South China Sea. As the legal battle progresses, the international community will keep a careful eye on how the dispute ends and what it means for the region's security in the future. Economic impact. The South China Sea is an important maritime commerce corridor that facilitates a large amount of world trade. Any disruption in the region might have broad economic consequences. The Philippines, with its strategic location in the South China Sea, is critical to maintaining shipping safety and ensuring the continued movement of commerce across the region. By opposing China's claims, the Philippines hopes to maintain the region's rules-based order while also protecting its economic interests. China rejected the Philippines' legal complaint, using its indisputable sovereignty in the South China Sea. China has increased its military presence in the region, conducting naval exercises and deploying Navy warships to demonstrate its supremacy. The increasing tensions between the Philippines and China have raised concerns about the possibility of a military clash in the South China Sea. The international community is constantly monitoring the situation, emphasizing the need to maintain stability in this vital waterway. Efforts to mediate the conflict through negotiations are ongoing, but the situation remains fluid, with the possibility of additional development. Diplomatic efforts. Despite the rising tensions, the Philippines has been actively seeking diplomatic solutions to the dispute with China. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., has underlined the significance of diplomacy and peaceful negotiation in reaching a mutually acceptable solution. To gain support for its position, the Philippines has reached out to other regional countries, as well as big powers such as the United States. The Philippines' diplomatic efforts have received widespread international support, with numerous countries expressing solidarity in its dispute with China. The United States, in particular, has reiterated its commitment to the Philippines' security and has held joint military exercises with the country to show its support. Other countries in the region, including Japan and Australia, have expressed sympathy for the Philippines' position and called for a peaceful resolution to the dispute. Despite diplomatic attempts, tensions in the South China Sea remain high, with both sides asserting their rights. The international community continues to closely follow the situation, stressing the need to resolve the conflict peacefully and in acceptance of international law. The Philippines' diplomatic efforts are an important step in finding a long-term, peaceful solution to the conflict and maintaining regional stability. Future prospects. The Philippines' aggressive stance against China under President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. represents a dramatic departure in the country's foreign policy. President Marcos Jr. has received public kudos for disputing China's rights in the South China Sea, while also boosting his government's legitimacy worldwide. The outcome of the Philippines' legal case has significant implications for regional security and stability, and it might set a precedent for how other countries deal with China's forceful maritime operations. The world is paying careful attention as President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. leads the Philippines into this important moment. The country's steadfast position against China goes beyond simple territorial issues. It is a ringing assertion of its commitment to maintaining international law and protecting its sovereignty. By addressing this problem, the Philippines sends a strong statement that it will not back down in the face of hardship and will actively defend its rights and interests on a global scale. The Philippines' open stance resonates with governments around the world, particularly those facing comparable threats from China's maritime ambitions. As the Philippines faces this challenge, it emerges as a symbol of resilience and the desire to maintain regional peace and the rule of law. The international community expresses solidarity with the Philippines, recognizing the importance of its principled position against unilateral acts that endanger global peace and security. In traversing this important moment, the Philippines emphasizes the importance of multilateral collaboration and adhering to established norms and values. The country wants a peaceful resolution to the conflict through diplomatic involvement and legal action, with an emphasis on discussion and mutual respect. As the Philippines crafts its route forward, it represents the spirit of perseverance and commitment, urging nations around the world to remain steadfast in their pursuit of justice and freedom. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more content like this.